So a lot of people talk about protein.
Yes.
And how, it's important for building muscles
Yes.
and toning up and looking real
Yes.
good. Is it possible to have too much protein? Like we talk about carbs
Yes.
a lot, like
Yes.
carbs, and we think carbs will make you fat.
Exactly.
Or carbs will make you gain weight.
Exactly.
Is it possible to have too much protein?
So it is, but I first of all want to acknowledge the importance of protein because protein does build lean body mass. It's important to keep us fuller for longer. It makes our enzymes function appropriately in our body. It's a building block of our immune system, so it is essential. But yes, everything in proper portion and moderation. And when something is good for us, we always think having more is better.
Right.
And that's not the case because what actually happens is when we are breaking down protein in our body, the byproduct of protein breakdown can actually be toxic to our kidneys and our liver over time.
Oh dear.
If we do it too much and too often.
Okay.
And the other thing is too, is our body can only utilize 20 to 30 grams of protein at a meal. Anything in excess is too much and it's actually going to be excreted out of our body through our urine.
Okay.
Therefore, it's really hard on our kidneys and our liver because it has to be filtered through that.
Right.
So you're not even able to absorb it. So really it's a waste of your calories, it's a waste of your money, things like that. So yes, so just eat it in the right portions.
So that's a little confusing though, because
Yes.
when I think of protein, I also think of beans and legumes,
Yes.
which are protein.
They are
right?
protein, yep. So there's so many ways we can get protein. We can get meat, dairy products, beans, tofu, all of these things. But the idea is having it in the right portions and in the right amount.
Okay.
So for example, a piece of meat the size of the palm of my hand, that's already 20 to 30 grams of protein.
Okay.
So we don't need any more protein at that meal. That's sufficient.
Okay.
And even having like a cup of beans with brown rice, that's sufficient protein.
Okay.
And so many times we think, oh, I'm not getting enough protein. I'm trying to be healthy. I need to have this protein supplement.
Yeah.
Which we look at those, and some of those are having 50 grams just in the protein shake itself.
Yeah.
Then we're adding milk for another 8 grams. Then we're adding sometimes peanut butter for another 8 grams and Greek yogurt for another 20. We're like 80 grams.
Okay.
And our body can truly only absorb that 20 to 30. So what's happening to that excess protein? It has to go out of our body because it can't be absorbed.
I see.
Yes,
I
and so
see.
now it's being broken down and filtering through our kidneys and our liver, which over time can cause damage.
Wow.
So
we're thinking about like yogurt, because you
Yes.
mentioned Greek yogurt, and for someone who maybe enjoys taking that as a snack.
Yes.
Is
So
that
that's
then-
a perfect snack because in 1 cup of Greek yogurt, there's about 20 grams. So that's perfect. So
Okay.
we don't need any more. So this idea of just having one protein food at a meal is sufficient.
Okay.
And so most people are getting enough protein. So we
Okay.
don't need to worry that we're not getting enough unless you have a certain condition, or other factors are there. But in average, we're getting enough protein and there's no
Okay.
need to really have all these other protein supplements and shakes
Right.
and things to be healthier.
Right.
Again, as a dietitian, food first.
Yeah.
And food is providing us with enough of that protein as long as it's that balanced diet.
Right.
So,
And
yes.
before I move on from protein, so you're saying it should be on average 20 grams per meal.
Yep, 20 to 30.
20 to 30. Does that include snacks? So are we talking about like 6 meals a day?
Yep, so 20 to 30 per meal. So at breakfast, you'd want 20 to 30 grams there. Then a snack, maybe 5 to 8 grams is enough. Then lunch, another 20 to 30.
Okay.
Then snack, another, 5 to 8. And then dinner, 20 to 30.
Okay.
So for our total day, we're looking at about 46 to 56 grams. That's all our body needs.
Okay.
You can go as high as 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight. So
Okay.
think about how many kgs you weigh,
Right.
then that's an amount of grams of protein you can have in a day.
Gotcha.
Which is most likely going to be more than 56 grams.
Right.
So again, just reiterating the fact that we don't need these excessive amounts of protein because again, our body truly can't utilize it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. I'm just
Good.
thinking of everybody who loves that huge continental breakfast of
Yes.
eggs and
Yes, and you'll be fine with just
Yeah.
a typical meal. It's just
Yeah.
this idea that we don't need to overdo it.
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So let's move on to another. We hear a lot about ghee.
Yes,
And I think
we
there's a
do.
lot of debate. Is it healthy? Is it not?
Yes, yes. Great question because it's very popular right now. So when we break it down, what is ghee composed of and what type of fat is it? Because I've talked before that the type of fat matters most. And ghee is a saturated fat. Remember, saturated fats are what clog our arteries and increase our cholesterol levels. So therefore, ghee is not a source of heart healthy fats.
Okay.
We want to focus on those unsaturated fats, or those fats that are liquid at room temperature.
Okay.
That's going to be better for us. So I can't recommend ghee
All right.
as a heart healthy fat. But again, everything in moderation. And if there's a specific recipe that you want to use ghee for,
Yeah.
fabulous, go for it. But don't, change to ghee because you think it's better for you.
Okay. All right. This one is going to sound a little bit controversial, but this is about honey and whether
Yes.
honey is nutritious or not.
I know the Kenyans are going to attack me.
Taren,
'cause
oh, they're going
Kenyans
to attack
love
you.
their
Oh,
honey. Yes. So let me say, honey does have nutrition, okay?
Okay.
But it's in very small amounts.
Okay.
So we would have to consume a large amount of honey to derive the nutrients from it.
Okay.
And the problem with that is that's going to mean we're going to get a lot of sugar in our diet
Right.
trying to get those minerals and vitamins from the honey.
Gotcha.
And honey is considered an added sugar, not a natural sugar, by the way.
Oh,
because again, we're
no.
adding it to foods
Right.
and there's not a lot of nutrition there. So the difference between natural sugar and added sugar is that natural sugar is found in a whole food, like fruit, for example.
Okay.
And when I'm consuming that sugar, I'm also getting other vitamins and minerals. So that's that natural sugar. Whereas when I'm having an added sugar, I'm mostly just getting sugar. I'm not
Okay.
getting other nutrients.
So how should people sweeten their tea and their food?
Yes, so you can use honey, right? So we can have an amount of added sugar in a day. And if you like honey, that's totally fine. But just make sure you're using it in moderation. So a teaspoon, and that's good. Yeah, so that would be my recommendation. You could use sugar alternatives, but I know a
Okay.
lot of people are opposed to that. They
Yeah.
are considered safe.
They are?
Yeah, they are considered safe actually based on research. Yes, so there's a lot of misinformation out there about those.
I feel like
Yes.
we all need to go get a degree in this stuff. It's so confusing.
Yes, so
But okay.
everything in moderation. Yeah.
What about jaggery?
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, okay. Apparently it's a type of sugar. It's very, I don't know, almost molasses-like.
Okay, yep, so that would still be an added sugar. So
Okay.
the only sources of natural sugar are going to be fruit itself, so the whole fruit, and then the sugar in cow's milk. Those are the only sources of natural sugar. The
Wow.
rest are all added. So cane sugar,
Right.
honey, maple syrup,
Yeah.
all of those things. And again, it goes back to what other nutrients am I getting
Okay.
while I'm getting that sugar?
So you said only milk and fruit have
Yes,
natural sugar.
exactly.
So clearly most of us would need to add something. So you just need to do it in moderation.
Yes,
if
in
you need
moderation.
to.
So what's recommended is no more than 6 to 9 teaspoons of added sugar a day.
Okay.
Or no more.
For all of you who
Yes.
drink 1 cup of tea with 3 spoons of sugar.
That's right. That also translates to about 25 to 36 grams of sugar. So if you're looking
Okay.
at the nutrition facts panel, but again, you don't have to count the sugar that's in the whole fruit
Yeah.
or the sugar that's in cow's milk because that's natural.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when people say, you're overeating fruit,
Yes.
because it's too much sugar.
No.
No.
That's not true. And the thing is, when we have fruit, we're having that sugar, we're having that natural carb, but we also have fiber. So the fiber component of that fruit helps to decrease our cholesterol or our glucose from going high and then going back down. So it's making our glucose stay very consistent.
Okay.
So that's why we want to focus on fruit, because of that fiber component. So there's no such thing as necessarily having too much fruit or that fruit is so high in sugar I should avoid it. No, all fruit is good.
Okay.
Yes, because
And
of that fiber.
is there something about combining fruits that you shouldn't do that? I had a doctor once say
Yeah.
that you shouldn't combine different, like if you're gonna eat oranges,
Yeah.
have just oranges. If you want to do watermelon, just do the watermelon. Because something about mixing them, I don't know, adds the balance of
Yeah.
sugars or something like that.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that. So have a mixed bowl of fruit. That's great. And in fact, what you're doing is varying your nutrients that you're getting, because every color of fruit has a different antioxidant and a different amount of nutrients. So we really want to get the most nutrients we can from the food we're consuming. So variety is really key.
Okay.
So I would encourage people to have as many different varieties, fruits and vegetables at their meals as they can.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my. Oh my, oh my.
We'll have to have a part 3.
I know. Let's talk about body cleanses and detoxes, because again, this
gosh.
is
Yes.
people have been making some money off
They
of people
have so been
out
making
here.
some money, and
Yeah.
every day I hear about a new detox. And it's so unnecessary. Let me just keep it real here. I'm about real food, letting our body do its job.
Okay.
And God knew what he was doing when he was creating our body.
Right.
Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
We have a liver and we have kidneys, and they are absolutely capable of detoxing our body.
Okay.
So there is absolutely no need to do a detox and a cleanse.
Yeah.
And they cannot detox and cleanse our body when we look at the scientific evidence. I'll keep it that simple.
Wow.
Yes. So
People have been wasting their time
kabisa.
and their feelings.
Yes.
Oh no.
Absolutely. So just eat food, real food. Make sure we're getting a lot of nutrition so our liver and kidneys are able to function appropriately and do their job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone here is asking, Joyce, we're told it's not good to eat carbs for dinner as it takes more time to digest. Now, I've heard that about protein.
Yes.
Okay. Is that true? And how late or early before I sleep, this is a great question, can I eat carbohydrates? And maybe we can extend that to, can I be eating dinner?
Yes.
Right? I think even Oprah once was like telling us like a certain time period which you
Yes.
should not be eating.
Yes.
So maybe you could answer that question.
Great question. So we should be having carbs at every meal throughout the day to keep our blood sugars consistent, to make sure our brain is functioning. So ideally what our meals would look like is, remember that time I brought my plate. So you have your carbs, your protein, your fruits, your vegetables, okay? That's breakfast. Then we have carbs at snack with a protein. Then we have lunch. Then we have another snack with carbs and protein. Then we have dinner with carbs as well, and even a bedtime snack. The longer we go in between meals, we're reducing our metabolic rate, we're reducing our metabolism, because we go into survival mode, and now our body is going to store those calories as fat because our body doesn't know when we're going to eat again.
So what does that mean about intermittent fasting?
Yep. So intermittent fasting is considered a fad diet. So it's not something that I would recommend. It's not something that is scientifically proven completely to be effective. So when we look at how to nourish our body best and how to feed our body and what our body needs, that's not something I can stand behind or recommend. It's not a healthy eating pattern because we're going long times without eating.
Right.
And again, our brains are going to release a hormone called leptin that causes our body now to store that next meal as fat. Again, reducing that metabolic rate as a survival mechanism.
And we hear that as you get older, your metabolism or your metabolic rate decreases.
Yes.
So is there any way to get that up again, like if somebody wants to lose weight?
So that's a great question. There's nothing we can really do to increase our metabolism. There's no pill we can take. There's no quick fix. There's never a quick fix. It's really just eating on a regular pattern, having an active lifestyle, and building more lean body mass. Because the more muscle we have, the more calories we burn while just sitting or going about our daily routine. So that's really what would help support our metabolism and support that metabolic rate, but there's no pill, there's no special diet, there's no special food. So it's really just that consistent eating pattern.
All right. And you've touched on milk quite a bit, and you always do. I think you're a big believer that it is healthy.
It is. It is. And that's what the science shows. So not only my opinion, but that's what the science shows. So many of us don't get enough calcium and vitamin D.
Yeah.
And so dairy in particular is going to be an excellent source of calcium, and some dairy products will also have vitamin D. So, you know, sometimes when people have a cold or something, they feel that dairy causes them to have a little bit more mucus and that sort of thing. So if that's the case for you, then please maybe eliminate it during that time. But it's not a bad thing for humans to have if you don't have the allergy. So it's very nutritious. Again, milk is going to have calcium. It's going to have B vitamins. It's also going to have potassium, which helps to regulate our blood pressure.
But should you be taking, is it saturated fat in the milk?
Excellent
so should you be having
question,
it skim or whole?
Yes, I love it. You're yes. So
catching on.
You are. You got it. So the type of fat in milk is saturated fat. So it can increase our cholesterol levels. So we do recommend having reduced fat milk. So that would be ideal. However, you have to consider if you love whole milk, honestly, I drink whole milk in my coffee because it tastes better. But then I'm watching the rest of my saturated fat in my day. Because we can have 12 to 15 grams of saturated fat in our entire day. So it's up to you what sources you're going to get that from and at which meal.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, Ashley, before I let you go, you have a wellness
I
challenge
do.
coming up.
Yes, I'm very excited
Please
about
do
it.
tell us about
yes.
it.
So it's an 8-week wellness challenge, and 2020 has been crazy.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's really about just getting back to start, to end the year on a good note and a
Okay.
better sense of health and wellness. And all my wellness challenge is about is having this healthy relationship with food and really learning why we need each particular food group and what it does for our body and what are the best sources in that food group. I'm also going to be talking about intuitive eating and mindful eating and how to listen to our body and know how to best nourish our body on an individual basis.
Okay.
So I really want to give people and empower people with that knowledge because again, there's so much noise out there. There's so much misinformation. So everything I talk about will be science-based.
Great.
And I'm really excited because I have a bonus thing for this wellness challenge. So I'll be doing a virtual grocery tour for people.
Wow.
So they'll get to see me go shopping through the aisles and showing them what to pick out in each aisle of the grocery store that's a better for you choice.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, very practical advice.
Yeah, so it's for everybody. So it's not just losing weight. It's really truly to be healthy. And then as I say, weight loss is always a side effect of good, positive, healthy eating.
Great.
So
So how do people take part in it?
So what they do is they can go to It's Time, so ITS period time, THYME _, on my Instagram.
Okay.
Click on the bio. There's a link in my bio and it gives you all the details about my wellness challenge and how to sign up.
Great.
So they can DM me to sign up. And I'm only taking 25 participants.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Well, that sounds really fantastic. I really
Yes.
like the practicalness of it, even the
Thank you.
virtual tour,
Yes.
of a grocery place or a
Yes.
supermarket and how to actually shop. And maybe
Yes.
that's just some of the help a few of you might need there. So be sure to head over to her Instagram page. It's time like the herb.
Yes.
So THYME
Yes.
_
Yes.
And you can find all the details on that wellness challenge. How long is it going to be?
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
And it'll be all virtual. So I'll be doing Zoom sessions once a week to answer people's questions and give a lesson on nutrition for that topic for the week. So
Great.
recipes, all of it. So,
Fantastic.
yes.
Oh, recipes too.
Yes.
Wow.
Every week. Yes.
Great. Ashley, thank you so much for coming through as always.
Yes.
Great to have you. And just
Thanks
to
for
kind of
having me.
debunk some more of these myths. And I think it's very important for us to actually pay attention to the science behind
Yes,
things. Do
as
your
always.
research. Don't
Yes.
just listen to what your next door neighbor said.
Yes.
You know.
Thank you. So true.
So with that said, we're going to take a break now, but I want to remind you that 111-444-111 is the SMS line. And in fact, very quickly, someone here is saying, I love the guest. Last time I asked, is sugar bad for people with ulcers? And what if you weigh 89? How much quantity of protein do you need? Aki, the guest is beautiful. I just admire her. I'm Millie.
Oh my gosh. They're so kind. Wow. Well, thank you. So
Yeah.
sugar is not what I would be super concerned about for ulcers.
Okay.
It's more of spicy food.
Yes.
That's what I would be concerned about with ulcers. And then she's 89 kg, you said?
Yeah.
So that's how many grams of protein she would want for her day at the
Okay.
max.
At the max.
Yes. So 1 gram per
Fantastic.
kilogram.
Okay,
Yes.
that's a good tip. Quick way to remember it.
Yes.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break now. Coming up next, we have some relationship talk, and we're going to be discussing non-verbal behaviors that ruin a marriage. 111-444-111 is the SMS line, and I'll be back after this.